Hello, welcome back to the Trekway. I am Trev. This is Gray. I think he's on that side. I should just do this. This is Gray. Hello. This is the longer for you're directing traffic now. You're actually going to land a plane if you're not careful.
I need a whistle.
No, that's a traffic cop, is it not? Oh, that does as well.
Close enough.
We're back for the long version review. I apologise, it's not live again this week. I am out of town for work tomorrow and I wouldn't be able to do it live, so I wanted to record it ahead of time. But it'll still be the same length of time, roughly, as it always is, just the longer conversation between Gray and I, where
you seem quite live to me.
I seem quite loud to you. Yeah, that was technical issues before. I think Gray's trying to tease me a little bit about that. This is the longer version review, so the short review was up on Thursday, and now we're getting closer to the end. There is 3 more episodes of Discovery to go after this. When the season's okay, not bad so far. It's not awful like other seasons have been. And this is season 5, episode 7, Erigah, I think it's pronounced, Gray, which means blood bounty. So, without telling anyone your score initially, did you enjoy the episode? Did you think it was okay? Yeah. Was it a bit crap?
No, I thought it was a little better than okay. I enjoyed it.
A little better than okay.
Yeah. I'm not going to say stellar, but it was good.
Yeah, it wasn't. Yeah, I don't think we're ever going to get a 9 or 10 out of 10, are we?
Doubt it.
Unless they're saving their budget up for the end.
Maybe
for
on the last episode.
Yeah, like a massive Starship Pew Pew. We'll get to that in a moment. There's no Starship Pew Pew, which is really annoying. Right. So, of course, because it's a season-long arc, we continue following along from the last episode, and it pretty much is a continuation. We have Maul and Lack in this episode, and we knew we would, Gray, because in the last episode, right at the end, Starfleet was on their tails, and they told Discovery to literally jump to the location. So literally, it's instantaneously after the last episode ended. They could have just kept rolling and showed us all the episodes to the end of episode 10. That would have been nice. But no, they're not going to do that, are they? It's a shuttle. Is it a shuttle? I thought it was a little ship. It is a shuttle pod that they find, isn't it? Right at the very start. I think it was. It was like it was a little shuttlecraft. It was the USS Locker that finds it. That is the ship. That is Raynor's old ship, I believe. Gray. Do you recognise it?
I kind of recognize it, but then I don't know all the 32nd century ships. But
really, terrible.
It's hard enough keeping up with the Discovery, let alone all these other ships.
True. Listen, I get why we don't see a lot of these other starships. It costs a lot of money, especially if it's up close like the Locker was, and because it's the 32nd century, they can border on batshit crazy when it comes to design. Sure. There was I think Tilly said this when they got through to Starfleet HQ for the very first time in the 32nd century. She went, that starship has got a forest on it. I'm just saying it, calling it out, and she was right. It was literally a forest in the middle of the starship. I like the USS Locker. I like the look of that, Gray. Again, it looks a bit like the front of I'm not up to my Star Wars knowledge. It looks like the front of a destroyer. It really does, with 4 nacelles at the back. Someone's cut the nose off it, Gray, and just stuck on 4 nacelles.
You're kind of expecting something to be similar up front, like with 4 big guns or something like. But you don't see that as you only see the nacelles. I
was expecting little guns to come out the side, like the blaster or whatever they're called on a destroyer, to come out, and then for you to zoom into the bridge and see Darth Vader there using the Force to actually just take the shuttlecraft into the bay. That's how everyone hates me now because I've mentioned the Star Wars words. It's okay, Star Trek. Yeah, there's something wrong with your mic there, Greg. You need to get that looked at. Really cool ship. This shuttlecraft is sending out an SOS that is basically calling out to any other couriers in the area that they've got something great to sell to them. But I don't know why you would do that when it turns out to be that Lac's really badly injured from the last episode. So, or was it 2 episodes ago? I think it was. Yeah, but it's an SOS nevertheless, and that means that Starfleet managed to catch up to them first and bring them in. And yeah, like he has been badly injured. Like that was from the Mirror Universe episode. Well, it's not the Mirror Universe episode. I shouldn't really say that's technically not Grey because they didn't go there, but they found a starship from there. So
the ISS Enterprise.
The ISS, which is the cool one. I like the ISS Enterprise. It was pretty smart. So yeah, he's badly injured from a couple of episodes ago. He needs urgent medical help, and they literally transport Maul and Lack from that little shuttlecraft or that escape craft to Discovery straight into sick bay with shields all round. And yeah, he's pretty messed up.
Yeah.
And then we see someone that we both like, Grey, come in to lead up security, who must have came from Starfleet HQ because she's not on the Discovery anymore, and that's Commander Nan. You're a fan of her as well, you're not?
Yeah, oh yeah. In fact, I was kind of like wondering I forgot what happened to her. And then
where's she gone?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I've always liked her. I thought she was pretty good. But so I'm happy to see that. You mentioned something about she can breathe without her breather. I think.
Did they cover that?
Sure. But I think that was because she gets some kind of injection now or something that fixes that or something. So she still has to stay on some kind of meds or something that works for her.
Maybe.
So.
It's. I did see little, like spot things, little things that are protruding from her skin slightly.
Oh yeah.
So maybe it's just 32nd century technology.
Sure.
And funny you mentioned taking an injection, because for those that have watched Grey and I's playthrough of Star Trek Resurgence, one of the characters in that literally needs a top up of some kind of drug to keep her going, otherwise she gets really, really ill and could die. So I found that interesting when you mentioned that, Grey. And then we see another amazing character come back that we love, Dadmiral Vance, aka Admiral Vance, for those that, if you wonder what I'm talking about, it's just because he's the age of your father and he's pretty cool. So, and he's an admiral, so he's Admiral Vance. He asked the Discovery to keep the prisoners and jump away. Like, I mean, literally, you walk in, how you doing, Admiral? Yeah, would you go and do one now, please? Just get out here. Oh, thank you. No cup of tea, nothing. You're off. Because there's a Breen dreadnought on intercept course for Starfleet HQ at maximum warp, and Gray's response, uh-oh. Just read that. I just had a chuckle, man. Uh-oh.
That's the first thing you think of. Ooh, dreadnought. Uh-oh.
Well, true, yeah, dreadnoughts are huge. We know very little about the Breen, Grey. We know very little about the Breen.
Good. Yeah.
Yes and no, but since the Dominion War, we still know next to nothing, really. It's not.
I mean, we know a lot. We know a lot more, I guess, now than we did then, I suppose. We still don't know everything.
It's not Discovery's fault. It's not Discovery writing team's fault. That was just no one really used them in between. That's fine. There wasn't really much of an opportunity to use them, but hey,
I think it was smart that they picked on them though for this season, because at least it gave them something, fresh to write about, which is cool.
True. Yeah, it was a good. Listen, credit to the writing team for picking a species that we know very little about as the antagonist for this season and expanding upon them. I don't mind if Star Trek writers use species and different storytelling mechanics they've used before, as long as they don't overly tell them. And they, for example, the Breen is a good example because they've barely been discovered, so it's okay to elaborate on them a little bit and find out more about species, and we certainly do. We certainly do.
If you think about it, though, what other series does the same thing?
What?
Strange New Worlds and the Gorn.
Yeah, but they kind of broke canon a little bit.
Yeah.
They did. That pissed me off a little bit. No one should have seen them, and yet we saw them. So,
yeah, I mean, think they're taking... I agree with you. but at least I can kind of see where they're coming from, only because they want to pick on something familiar yet not, something that we can identify with maybe a little bit and improve upon it and stuff. So I'm willing to overlook, I guess, but yeah, you're right. They could have took a little more care and not kind of showing everything.
Yeah. There's ways of doing it. Like
Right.
the Romulans. The
Right.
Romulans in that time traveling episode with Pike, where
Mm-hmm.
he goes to, I think it was a small time in the future, and he sees what could have happened, what might happen, and he sees the Romulans for the first time, but that didn't really count because that's what could have been, and then it went back to normal. So that's okay, you can do that.
Yeah.
But anyway, sorry, getting sidetracked just because the Breen are pretty cool. We don't know anything about their ships anyway. We see some of their standard ships in Deep Space Nine. They look cool, and they obviously destroyed my baby arseholes. The Defiant. I couldn't. See when I watched that. See when the Breen messed up the Defiant. Great. I was
Yeah.
emotional. I was angry. But then that's what the writers were hoping for. They were trying to evoke
Yeah,
my
that's true.
emotions.
But they can always build more. So
Yes, that's true. That is true.
Okay.
The Sao Paulo. But yeah, so they've got the weapons that can do damage. We've managed to counter them since, but then the Breen have got a lot more in the tank possibly than we thought. So yeah, this Dreadnought's coming towards to smash us up. There's a little bit convincing. I didn't get this bit so much, Gray. And maybe you can help me out. Vance, okay, so Burnham doesn't want to run and flee. I get why Vance told her to go, because they are valuable prisoners. The Breen cannot get hold of them. So jump away. This starship, the Discovery, is the most valuable piece of technology they've got, even in the 32nd century, which is bloody hilarious. But it is, because it can jump away. But she convinces Vance to stay, and he goes, oh, okay. I don't think she put up much of a convincing argument.
No, she would.
Why?
What she said was, what she told him was, her argument was that she said, "Look, if we leave, I said the Breen are gonna be relentless and find us anyway. So when they do find us, we're gonna end up being right where we are right now. So why should I go?" And then he said, "Okay."
Yeah, but they can jump at a moment's notice, unless the Breen mess up their spore drive.
Right, or unless something else happens. But I'm not saying her logic was totally good. But what she was trying to say is, like, we might as well face the music now because we're just gonna have to face the music later. So we might as well just get it over with.
That is true.
So he just kind of went like, "Yeah, okay, fine."
I think there was a passing comment in this episode, or it was last episode, Gray, where someone mentioned, I don't know if it was Stamets, someone mentioned that they can actually be tracked to Discovery even after a spore jump because of what's left behind, the equivalent of a warp trail. I don't know, maybe they still smell some of the mushrooms after they leave. I have no clue.
Sorry. Stinky trail.
We've got to laugh, man. It's
just see that.
We just got to laugh. I mean, Stamets must have been absolutely constantly high and off his nuts for the whole season, man. For the last 4 seasons, he's been jumping that much with the mushrooms. That guy must be gone. We haven't seen a sober Stamets yet. But anyway, totally off track now, but who cares?
It's got to the point where you don't even see him going, hooking himself up anymore. They just jump and you just figure out, yeah, okay, they used him or whatever.
Yeah. Imagine he's having a sick day or something. I don't feel well. Imagine he's having a sick day, seriously, and this device connects with him, and he passes a virus onto the bloody spore drive or something. I don't know. Anyway.
A mushroom virus.
A mushroom virus, yeah. Oh, dearie me. Anyway, so yeah.
We're pretty far gone now.
So Stamets. So yeah, anyhow, so Vance does relent and lets them stay, and as long as, they can jump away at a moment's notice, that is true, so I do bear that in mind. Now, there's a big meeting. It involves Tarina, who I like. She's kind of cool. She's a cool Vulcan, actually. Some Vulcans are not cool. Some Vulcans are just...
She does a good job.
She does. Vance, Rayner, and Burnham. Now, they're talking about tactics and posture, what to do, what not to do. Now, Gray, what happens with Rayner? What happens with him, man? What was his angle? Was he? Bear in mind, we don't know what we know later on in the episode. At this stage, are you going,
Right.
what's going on, man?
I mean, you're supposed to have a certain amount of decorum when you're in a high level meeting like that, and he decides to get all agitated and goes like, I know the Breen better than you know. Da, da, da. So it was getting a little out of hand, and he pretty much got dissed by Burnham, and then Burnham goes, "Go wait outside like a little boy."
You wait outside until I come out and speak to you and say you can come back in. No more no supper for you.
But she was right, so so he left, and they carried on or whatever.
Yeah.
But later in the episode, he gets his dues. So I mean, proper dues, I guess.
He does, and like I say, hindsight's a wonderful thing. We don't know what we know at this stage as we're going through it. We just have to react as the episode unfolds, and we just think, man, are you going back to your old arsey self? Like, come on, man. You were doing so well the last episode or two, and now you're just going back. I wonder what his old ship's doing, the locker. They're probably going, Jesus Christ, boot camp is over. Thank God for that. I
think it's somebody who's totally the other way. Do whatever you want.
They're all having
it's all right.
It's like Lord X. They're all having a party on the USS Lockerer, man. They're having a great time. There
you go.
So yeah, this big meeting. I mean, I get where Rayner was coming from. He knows the Breen, and we found out why later on why he really knows the Breen. But he's like, "Come on, guys! Like we have to. It's red alert. We have to fire first. It's do everything we have to do to defend and get the first shots off because he is kind of right. The Breen are warrior like. They're Klingon like, and that's why they fitted into the Dominion pretty well. They are. You don't mess with these guys, so you have to. The Breen, yeah. I think what I'm trying to say is the Breen. The only thing they understand, they can't be negotiated with. He says the only way you can actually counter them is to talk their language, which is pew pew, basically.
They like to shoot first and ask questions later. That's basically it.
That's it. 100%.
Or maybe with the Breen, it's shoot. Maybe they might ask a question and then they'll just keep shooting.
Yeah, they may ask a question. It's not guaranteed.
Like, how many holes do you have in your ship? Wait a minute, we got to solve that.
You don't have enough holes in your ship for me. Let's a few more blasts.
More, yeah.
So yeah, we have, of course, we usually have our B and our C plots, don't we? And most of the time they're pretty pants. Let's not be around the bush, but they were better this time around. Tilly and Adira. I've got Akira here. That is a class of starship. That is a class of starship, ladies and gentlemen. That is not a person.
I should have corrected it for you.
Tilly and the USS Akira are no. Tilly and Adira are. I actually knew I made a mistake, and I tried to find the mistake later on, Gray, and I couldn't find it, and I gave up. So yeah, Tilly and Adira are working together to find out more about the next clue. They've got this thing that looks like a little library card. It's the best with little metallic card type thing.
Like a bookmark. You used to put things like that in your book to mark where you... Yeah.
That's a good shot, actually. I never thought of it like that. A bookmark, yeah. And they don't really know anyone that can help them, but then they think of the... What is this? What is the Discovery's ship's name again? Zora.
Yeah, the computer, right.
She's the one that actually helps them out. She gives them some clues to say, like, well, listen, Reno used to be involved in kind of antique stuff back in the day. They're like, what? Reno? Really? Okay, random. Let's go and speak to Jet Reno. And we love Reno, don't we? So...
Yep. I thought that was great. I really liked the twist. I thought it was really cool that the writers did that, because that was the last thing you were going to expect. And Zora goes looking and goes like, yeah, Reno has experience. Like, what? It's like, what are you talking about? And then when they go talk to her, she just acts like it's so nonchalant. Like, I used to smuggle stuff. Yeah. I did this. I did that.
There was a little passing comment, Gray, that I'm going to absolutely massacre. So I'll kind of paraphrase it. But she was Tilly and Adair were talking about all the things she got up to back in the day, and something about all the random things she got up to through the night or something. And then she was like, no, I don't mean it like that. And she turned around and she went, oh, it was like that. And I was like, whoa, that's a bit spicy for Star Trek, is it not? What's she been up to?
There was a lot of that going back and forth. You had to pick up on it because she's just kind of like spitting it out.
I love her, man. Listen, have you ever? I forget the actor's name. Right, I apologize. I said this before. The woman, I've got a lot of time for her. She's a stand-up comedian. She went through like cancer scares, and I think she like lost a family member and like a dog, or all in the space of like a couple of weeks. Horrendous luck she's had. She's bounced back really well. She's get stuck into her work, which I understand. She is a stand-up comedian, so if you see some of her stand-up comedy, like she's very deadpan, Gray, so very, very dry. And for me, I'm not saying there isn't dry humour in the States, but it's my kind of dry humour that I would expect in the UK. I absolutely love her. She's like me, more Jet Reno, but we can't because it's finishing into the season. So I'm very,
it's almost kind of like she's the female version of Stephen Wright. The delivery is very deadpan, but you just start cracking up.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, that's a good shout, actually. So, listen, she actually had other jobs as well. She was a smuggler, and she brushes it off because she's had so many other different jobs throughout the years, and she ends up then being an engineer on a starship.
Well,
okay.
She made a comment earlier, and I forgot because I know they had brought this up before, that she is very old. She's of a species that lives a long time.
Are you getting her mixed up, Gray, with her from Strange New Worlds with the blonde hair? I'm sure she's human.
Maybe.
I'm sure she's human.
Yeah, but no. Reno said she was been doing a lot of different things over the last 800 years. She says this.
What? Okay, I totally missed this guy. What? She's not human.
Yeah, no, and she talked about how a lot of people she worked with are all dead now.
You're maybe missing the potentially obvious comment in there. They time jumped 900 years in the future. I think that's what she meant. They went through.
Oh, that could be. Yeah. I forgot about that.
If she's not human, if she's an alien,
it's
I'm
still
so
funny. Still funny.
She's brilliant anyway. Who cares?
Did you hear what she said? She said she used to tend bar. She said,
Maybe
I used to be bartender at la something or other.
Well, she doesn't.
And then she slips. Wait. She slips in that she says she's gonna run a bartending stint on the bar on the ship that she's looking forward to. She says this. She says, I want to be bartender for a little while on ship. I'm looking forward to that. Okay.
I am so sorry if anyone heard singing there. I live right in the centre of the city, and there is, these silent disco things with the headphones, and they're singing Living on a Prayer while probably several drinks down, walking down the road. I apologise. It's what happens when you live in the city.
I couldn't hear
it. Good. So I've just told everyone something they didn't need to know. But yeah, listen, she's absolutely brilliant, Jet Reno. Working in a bar is interesting because I was thinking, did she have an opportunity to meet Guinan? Not in the time we know her, but Guinan's so old that maybe she could have met her when Guinan was really young.
Yeah.
And maybe that's who's taught her to. Imagine she said, there was a lady, she used to wear this like big funny hat, and she was really nice, and she taught me how to make all these drinks, and I'm like, oh, that would have been good. I would have done that. Anyway.
She's the lines that she drops, it's worth going back to the episode and running it again, because she starts dropping stuff that you didn't even remember hearing.
She's funny.
And you go back and go, oh. When you catch up on it.
We've had more Reno in this season than we've had in other seasons, which is great. I think the writers must have known, like, listen, people like her, put more of her in there because she's very good at the one-liners. Like, it was last episode or 2 episodes ago, I think it was 2 episodes ago, where she was talking about Daddy Stamets or something, Space Dad Stamets or something. Remember that?
Oh yeah.
And she's like, oh yeah, like that, and he's like, oh, that's my kind of like daughter kind of thing, or yeah. So anyway,
you know what we should do? We should throw a challenge out there to our audience. Anybody out there that's really good at this, or a fellow YouTuber, should go back on all 5 seasons and edit out every single Reno piece, as I see it, and then put it all together. Don't you think that would be cool?
Yeah. Yeah.
Seriously.
A jet Reno spec. Okay, I might get on that. I might get on that, Gray.
Go all the way back to the first season and just cut every Reno thing out, put them all back together in one giant clip.
That's a bit of work, but I love her that much. I may actually do that, to be fair. Watch this space, people. So anyway, right. Before we even know it, the Breen are here. And you literally hear Zorro, someone else very, very different.
We're doing good here.
over the comms on Discovery's basically red alert. Let's battle stations get ready. The Breen are here, and wow, Gray. Someone's compensating for size here, 100% with the size of this bloody ship. Oh my God, I've never seen a ship this big in Star Trek before. I generally haven't. Even it's as big, if not bigger, than that monstrosity from the Kelvin verse universe, the big black, the Vengeance, USS Vengeance. I think it's even bigger than that. And literally, this thing comes out of warp like this from Starfleet HQ. I mean, what were you trying to go for? A Guinness space record of how close you can get to a building?
Yeah,
I was
exactly.
like,
That's
it's like
someone
put on the handbrakes.
I do want to address something about that too.
Okay.
But I'm trying to make sure we don't give away anything. No, I don't think we would. Yeah, well, okay. I'll wait because I don't want to give away anything.
When we get to the right time, right? Okay, you might want to.
In any case, what you said about enormous was like an understatement because I see this thing pop in and I'm going like, oh my God. And I'm sitting there going, this thing is so freaking big. Are you kidding me? I mean, I know dreadnoughts are supposed to be large, but I'm sitting there going like, man, this is like, and I commented, I think it's too big.
It's too big, yeah. That's what
she said. Seriously, because it's looking bigger than the HQ, and I was thinking like, all right, well,
it's a lot bigger than HQ. It's a lot bigger than HQ, mate. It is.
Well, that's what I was thinking, but then you're looking at distances,
yeah.
Right? But I'm going like, I don't know, because even with perspective, it's still awfully big. I mean, jeez.
I'm telling you, Gray.
I don't know, man. I think they should have toned that down a little bit because I was like, geez.
The Breen are compensating. That's all I can say. This is they build big starships. I mean, it is a cold planet. It's a very cold planet they're on. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, before we get shut down, so yeah, it is absolutely.
Well, we did say it was bigger than the HQ. Anyway.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, literally, Gray's typed here. Holy MF. This ship is enormous. My only question is maybe it's too big. It's almost as big as Starfleet HQ, and I think it probably is. I don't think they may be like angles are everything, Gray, and I don't think we ever get a decent angle of how big Starfleet HQ really is. And I've told you before, I don't like Starfleet HQ. Why the hell is it on a space station? For crying out loud, it should be on a planet somewhere. You're just asking to get blown out of the sky. Sorry, it's a rant.
The thing that I remember them saying about it before was that they ended up having to go to a station because of the burn and everything was gone, and they
they were hiding before. They don't even hide now.
Right, exactly. You make a good point. So the point is that since they're not hiding anymore, why would you not locate on a planet or something, or ground that station onto a planet? I don't know, something like that. Well, and yet they don't bother. So
they're not on. They used to be on Earth. Everyone knew that for the longest time they were on Earth. But then they had that fallout, the United Earth Alliance or whatever. Just because they were originally on the whole planet doesn't mean Starfleet should always be on that planet. It shouldn't necessarily always. In fact, they should move it about from time to time. I'm hearing random alert notifications on my stream. Apologies if anyone heard that. But I don't get it. Earth is now speaking to the Federation again. They've rejoined, I believe. So just stick it on a planet and then move it around. But anyway, sorry, I'm going off tangent, I know.
But these are things that we wonder about as we are Star Trek. We want to know why this, why that, you know.
Yeah, we do. It is a good shout, and that's what we're all about. We go on tangents in this show. You know that, guys. So the Breen don't just open fire immediately, thank God, because I don't think that building would have lasted long at all. They literally have they beam over. I think they agree to a meeting. They beam over, and basically there's a bit of negotiation. Gray's they're hard negotiators because Starfleet wanted 4 hours, but they don't get 4 hours. They get 1 hour.
One.
So I mean,
They're
get
pretty
it.
quick with that. They just go, you have like 1 hour, and then they just disconnect.
Yeah, it's kind of. I mean, I get why they're asking for 4 hours, Gray, because that's standard. Trying to kill time tactics there. I get it, so they can get Lack back on his feet and get him out of here potentially. And basically, if they don't hand him over within 1 hour, the pew pew starts, right? And I'm kind of going, please. I've been so deprived of Starship pew pew. I'm gagging on some Starfleet action here. Come on, let's see a fight. I don't want a fight with phasers. That's just dull. I would actually rather see more hand-to-hand combat, which we do actually. We did see. We do see at one point in this episode. That's a good point. Mental note.
Yeah.
Now we find out more. We've got 1 hour to work with. Tarina's worked wonders, and they've got 1 hour to play with. So Burnham's not got much time. She has to go and work with what she's got. She speaks to Rayner to find out what the hell was going on, and then Rayner starts relenting a little bit more. Gray. He doesn't. At first, he says he doesn't want to talk about it, but he naturally does start talking about it. And I'll leave it to you, Gray. Maybe you'll do it better justice than me. What happened to the guy back in the day? Why does he hate the Breen so much?
Well, as we start finding out, there's something personal. Even what's her name said that there was something personal, but he still wouldn't talk about it. So eventually, it comes to a point where you got to tell me something, man, because this, your actions are not great. So he did finally relent, and he does mention that his planet and his family apparently were slaughtered by the Breen. In fact, they actually said that his planet was used as a forward base.
Yeah.
By the Breen. So it wasn't just the fact that they were slaughtering them. They just said, "Hey, we're going to
ammo depot, wasn't it? Was it ammo or something? Ammo depot or something?
Yeah. They were doing all kinds of crazy stuff, and they didn't care about the people. So now at least we know why he seems to know something about the Breen. In any case, so now you don't feel as bad about him acting like an idiot. So.
No, true. I do get it. Of course I do, and I feel a bit sorry for the guy. I still love him. His family were killed. He was the only one for his family to survive. A lot of his planet, Kellerans, they actually did fight back, but in fighting back, they got kind of massacred quite a bit. So we get it. So at this time, I don't think Burnham's necessarily learned that much, but she does learn something, as what we find out later on. But a little B plot that we of course have on the side. So this cracks me up a little bit, right? Tilly and Adira are now essentially looking for a space library, right? Now, I don't know if you get this in your neck of the woods, Gray, right? I guess the further away you are from like a city and like the hustle and the bustle, you may get this. Certainly in the northern part of Scotland and particularly the islands, you got this with banking back in the day. You had a truck, a little mobile truck that went around to give banking facilities to people, and a library. You would have libraries as well, mobile, because people couldn't get to the big cities and the towns. I'm just thinking
that when I was a kid, we had what was called a traveling library, and it was a big like RV thing, whatever, like a minibus.
Cool.
And it used to come, and it was loaded with books. And we were kids. We used to go on there and pull books that we liked, and then we would just put like a requisition form in for what we want, and then we'd come back next week and have the book.
Yeah, there you go. Well,
so it's pretty cool.
It's going to be a lot more than a week with this library. I can tell you that much when we get to it. And if you don't hand your book in time, I would hate to see how much gold press latinum you would be due. Oh, that would be scary. Because spoiler alert, it does change location every 50 years. That puts some context on it. That's an expensive fine. So yeah, it is a space library essentially that they're looking for. That's where they get clues from this thing, which I found really, really fascinating. So it's not, for once, Gray, we've actually got a B plot that's actually kind of cool. This was the Indiana Jones part of it, the whole season, where they're on an investigation for the clue while the serious pew-pew stuff is and the negotiations are happening on the side. They worked well together, didn't they, these two plots? Yeah, so... but yeah, so now, I want your opinion on this one, Gray. How cool were the black jackets that those security guards were wearing that were guarding Mullen Luck? I want one.
Yeah,
with
it
the
definitely
badge.
looked. Yeah, like you had mentioned, Section 31 or something
Do you think they
more
were? Do you think they were?
espionage. I don't know. I don't know. It could be, but it looked definitely like more of a heavy duty security type team. That wasn't the regular team. Put it that way.
Yeah,
Um,
true.
obviously came from Starfleet HQ, not from the ship.
Yeah, they were probably proper security guys rather than the standard security guys on a starship. You know, like properly trained from HQ kind of thing. I don't think they were part
Right.
of Discovery's crew because like Nan beams over, Commander Nan beams over with the security details, so that's probably what that was. And she's
Right.
probably picked them or trained them herself. So we don't know they're Section 31 or not. All we know is Gray and I want one of those jackets because they're cool.
Yeah, they were
And they
pretty
look
cool.
badass. They were just the guys are just standing there. They look like Miami cops or something, man. They were just like the blather. Instead of having a 9mm, they've just got a phaser instead. It's the same difference.
Yeah, that's right. Fancy looking pistol type. I can shoot you between the eyes.
So yeah, those two are basically guarding Maul and Lack because, well, they need medical attention, or Lack does, and Maul she kicks arse. She, as we find out in a little while, she really kicks arse. She's very good at fighting. We have a wee bit of time left with the negotiations. I think the Breen are literally standing there the whole time in the atrium of Starfleet HQ. Gray, I don't recall if they've been back or not. And if they're there the whole time,
Yeah.
I'm just hoping tea and biscuits were offered as a peace offering. That's all I can ask for. Because that would be an awkward hour.
I'm sure they would like that. Actually, it would be more like some kind of frozen pop.
Yeah, do you like some ice cream? Some ice cream, a
Ooh,
popsicle,
nice and cold, yes.
and some coffee on ice. Yeah, anything cold, right? Bingo.
Anything cold. That's right.
Anything cold. So yeah, they literally have a little bit of time left in negotiations, and the Breen are called back, and they're like, where is Lack? We want Lack. But Tarina wants to actually talk to the Breen. She is stubborn. She doesn't give up. Respect. She is she's not a master negotiator for nothing.
Right.
Now, what I found cool here, Gray, was there's obviously the main guy's called the Primarch, right? And I've got to be careful here because in the UK we have a really budget shop called Primark, where it's the kind of place where you go and buy something and after 10 washes it dissolves. That kind of place. What's the equivalent in the States? Target?
Well, we've got a few of them over here, like that. Target, Walmart,
Like cheap stuff? Yeah. Okay.
Sam's Club, and other things like that. Yeah.
Well,
I get it.
Got to be careful I don't get the leader of the Breen mixed up with a really cheap shop because he might come for me next in his dreadnought. So he is basically having a conversation with his colleague, his security detail, whatever, his guard beside him, and he is at first speaking in that kind of computer garbly conversation they have, and basically Starfleet is doing the what's the word I'm looking for?
Translation.
Thank you, Gray. Translation. But at then one point, you actually hear Tarina fire back and say something about, I can't remember, I'm paraphrasing it. She basically said the last couple of sentences that the Primarch said, and he was shocked and stunned because basically what he was saying was, listen, they're basically scum, they're this, that. It was something about they were referred to as something like a low life form or something
worms,
like that. Worms, yeah, worms were mentioned, mate. Yeah, thank you. And
what happened is that one of his buddies, Primarch's buddies, they determined that since they were using the translator, and apparently this guy knows the language or something, I don't know. He decided to be the translator. So now he's translating for the Primarch. So the Primarch is, saying things, and that's when Trina picked up and said, "Yeah, your translator ain't exactly saying what you said. You said this," and he's like, "Oh crap, she caught me."
But he changes. He can speak English, which. Where did he go to school to learn this? Okay, right, fine. He knows English.
I don't know. I don't understand that. They should have just stuck with the universal translator. But
Yeah,
I get it.
yeah.
They wanted that little.
Or Tarina is I would have accepted her understanding what she understood in terms of the slur and insult, right? But not for then the Breen to go, oh, we know English this whole time. We just thought we'd speak to you in our language. So it's just a little nitpick. It's not.
I mean, it was a cool scene, but it was a little confusing, considering that everything is translated anyway. So it's like, what?
You're right, Gray.
Oh, whatever.
So it was kind of cool. So he basically starts speaking English now to finish the negotiations, which I found interesting. Now, what we do find out a little bit more from the conversation with Rayner before. Starfleet are bluffing that a rival Primarch, right, that occupied Kelleron. This is, I can't remember this Primarch's name. This is the one that Rayner specially hates. Has offered them a deal as well. Ah, the bluff. I like it. He doesn't seem to be buying it though, Gray. He does not seem to be buying it, this guy. Would you blame him for buying it? It just seems like an obvious thing to try and pull off.
Well, kind of like, how did you know this? And, kind of thing. And they're going like, what? How do you know about this?
Yeah. Doesn't make much sense, really, does it?
No.
But Rayner does step in to save the day. He gives some details about what happened on his planet and what kind of person this Primarch is. And he's still wearing his helmet, right? So you can't see his face, but in a way you kind of can, because I can't describe it great. He's starting to go, oh shit, maybe they're actually telling the truth here. So
Rayner was naming her ship. Rayner was naming her tactics. Rayner was naming what she did.
She says, like things she said as well.
Right.
So no, you're right. So the Primarch is actually starting to buy it. Now, we're talking about the cool security guards looking after Maul and Lack. Now, I knew it was going to happen a million miles away. I knew it. Lack creates a distraction so that Maul can get away, wants to save his lover, because the medicine he's getting in HQ by the dock is kind of stabilising him somewhat. And it's like these little... I mean, it's green. Of course it's bloody green. These green 4 capsules at the side that must be giving him some kind of supply of something to keep him going. He literally does the old twisteroo, and then literally embeds the whole lot into the bio bed, and that gives him the whole dose of the medicine that he gets. And Grey notes here, that's devotion. That's what you do for love, Grey, I think. Or madness. Or both.
Pretty much. I mean, he cared more about Maul to escape. Now, they had talked about, he said, well, you escape and then beam me out of here. And, but even though they kind of knew that this probably wasn't going to happen exactly that way. But what we end up finding out, though, is Lack kind of injected himself a little too much, and he's like in trouble now.
Oh, yeah. He took that high too far now. He took that high too far now, and it's not looking great for him. Now, I guess this is maybe a kind of C plot here, Gray. I'm not sure. So Book is being a little bit like a wet paper towel the last couple of episodes. He's been a bit useless. He's been floating about. He's been playing video games. I don't know what he's been doing. He's been a bit bored, right? He's wanting to be useful, and he's working with Stamets at the time to try and find out more about this clue, right? But then when he hears Maul's on the run on the ship. And bear in mind, I touched on this before. Maul kicking ass. She does, because she gets into a fight with Commander Nan. Now, I was like, please, Nan, don't get beat, because you're badass and we love you. But she didn't get beat. Maul is sneaky and has some kind of biological or inbuilt cloaking device. I mean, my God, where can I buy one of them off Amazon, Gray? That was cool.
This scene, though, I thought was a little weak, because number one,
too easy.
I would think they would have been able to find this on her or under her skin or wherever the hell it was hiding.
Yeah.
But okay, let's say not. And then when she started the fight with what's her name? The
Nan and Maul.
Yeah. So Nan, unless I'm not remembering, maybe you can tell me. Nan's pretty strong.
Oh yeah.
She's very strong because she came from a planet with heavy gravity or whatever it was. So she beats her like relatively easy. I'm going like, what?
But does she beat her? That's what I'm saying. Great. They're fighting each other pretty well, getting in blows, right? And then when Nan gets like knocked in their arse and then she stands back up again, Maul's gone because of the cloaking device. So
Right.
I think
Right.
she held her own, and she may have won the fight, but then she was cheating by using a cloaking device. Which you're right, it's weak. It's weak that Discovery didn't pick up on that. You're right.
Maybe I'm nitpicking too much, but there was a couple of scenes where she was hand to hand with her, and she was getting the upper hand a little bit here. And I'm going, I don't think so, because what I was waiting to see was Nan to just throw her across the room because she's strong as heck. But that never happened, and I'm going like, what? That's a little too easy.
Maul is I've forgotten already. It's disgraceful. She's one of Book's people, so like they may be stronger anyway. We don't know, but you're right. Nan is strong, so I was wanting. We like Nan. I wanted Nan to win, but she didn't lose, so we'll give her that. Because of a little bit of cheating. So she's on the run in the ship. Book's helping Stamets out with this library card clue thing, right? And it's like, he wants to continue helping, but as soon as he hears Maul's on the run, he's about to grab he's got a leather jacket as well. Everyone's got a bloody leather jacket, apart from us. What is this, man? Fashion is...
If you really think about it, he goes to grab his jacket to go find Maul.
Oh, yeah, why?
Take off. You don't need the damn jacket.
You got to look cool when you're looking for your adversary,
I guess.
Man. And then
he should have said, wait, I need my shades too.
Yeah, you beat me too. I was going to say my shades, I need my cigar as well, and my 9mm, aka my phaser, and I'm sorted.
Exactly. I can go.
Yeah, like you're going to get sweaty Betty and you're wearing a leather jacket. You want to be... Take that off. So he's about to literally run off, and Stamets is like, listen, remember the mission. I like this bit from Stamets. Remember the mission. I know this is important to you, but this clue's even more important. This is the future of everything, potentially. And he stops and he thinks about it for a moment. I thought he was actually going to run off and go, okay, I thought about it, and I'm off. But to be fair, he went, right, okay, fair enough. Puts his cool leather jacket down, not even on a coat hanger. He just dumps it on a console. No respect. That's right. And he actually goes, right, okay, let's work with this clue a little bit more. Now, this was cool as hell, great. I never seen this coming. Smart as hell. The latest clue, it turns out, needs an empath in order to see any clues, because the scientist involved with this clue, remember at the end of last episode, Betazoid was mentioned? I thought we were going to go to Beta Z, sorry. We didn't. It was the scientist that was Betazoid, sorry. So that made sense, and we need someone with empathic abilities. That is Book. So he does his whole Ace Ventura talk to the animals thing with the pretty lights in his forehead. And he's able to read this thing, and he sees you don't see much. You see like a plasma storm, some kind of storm in space. He doesn't get much more from it. He picks up a feeling of emotion. I don't recall what that was, Gray. Do you remember what that was? I don't.
No, I think he didn't even know exactly what it was. He remarked that he felt it, but didn't really know exactly why.
Yeah, he couldn't make proper heads or tails of it. He couldn't. But it's almost like, yeah, I got the clue, and now I'm going to find Maul. And then he grabbed the leather jacket and went for it again. But it's fine. He done his bit. They've got some clues. Now, Lack has been a silly boy and taken a bit of an OD. And it's not looking good for him. If they don't find... They know nothing about Breen physiology, Gray. I mean, not surprising. If they don't get a Breen doctor soon, or Breen medic soon, he's KO'd. So Burnham says, listen, I'll go and find you one, right? Like, you're going to replicate one? Like, you got one in cold storage? Pun kind of intended for that one. But she goes away, and to be fair, she does come back with a Breen medic. Breen medic, the Primarch. She goes basically straight to the Primarch, like the Primarch and guards just beam over right into the middle of Discovery with the spore drive that's on the ship. Like, I know they why didn't you beam Breen the Lack to Starfleet HQ? Don't have it on the most. I'm not going to say powerful starship in Starfleet, the most technologically advanced ship in Starfleet. Great, that's a security risk for me. Yeah, maybe I'm nitpicking. But anyway, Primarch's given threats. if he dies, it's open season on you guys. And they're like, honestly, Gov, it wasn't us. He done it to himself. I mean, of course you're not going to believe that, Gray.
Or not,
It wasn't us, it was him. Oh, the guy that's lying dying, it was his fault. Oh, of course you're going to say that, aren't you? So
I was waiting for the Breen guy to go like, really?
Really? Come on. We've seen that one. Do you want me to warm up the phasers? Really? Come on. Yeah, they get to work to try and save his life. And as Gray notes here, the scene is getting tense. Definitely getting to, and that's what gives us a higher score, I think, partially at the end of this episode, Gray, because it's this whole negotiating thing. Who's going to pull the trigger first? And it is very tense throughout the whole thing, to be honest with you. Book has managed to put his leather jacket on in mid-run, we can only assume. Or maybe he transported it onto himself via Zora, I don't know. But it's on him. Yeah. He's then there with Nan, looking for Maul, and he finds Maul, who's got a phaser and some poor red shirt guy who must be soiling his pants or something, I don't know. He's, help! The poor guy got a phaser in his face. But he manages to talk Maul down, which was pretty cool. It wasn't, oh, remember, I know your father and our planet's gone and all that shenanigans. It was, listen, I know what it's like to not be there when the ones that you love are lost to you. Your partner is literally dying in sickbay right now. Go and be with him. Don't regret it. And she does, to be fair. She goes to him. And she's very sad and emotional, but it's too late. Lack literally passes away right in front of her. I didn't see that coming, Gray, and you say that as well. I wasn't expecting it. Good writing. I did not see that coming, mate. I was shocked to see that. But then as we find out at the end of the episode, there's maybe a way that might not be the case. Because you don't want to kill him, at least until the end, if at all. I kind of like them. They're like Bonnie and Clyde a little bit. I like these bad guys. Do you?
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
Yeah, well, good.
I think the neat thing about him dying right then was because that gave the reason, I guess, for the Breen to start opening fire.
Yeah.
So I was getting ready for like, ooh, battle time, you know.
Battle stations.
Right.
So
we don't exactly see it. But...
Yeah, I know the tease, man, the tease. But I mean, to be fair, now. Bear in mind, Lack has passed away right in front of the most powerful, or one of the most powerful people in the whole of the Breen Empire. I don't know what the Breen home planet's actually called.
Breeny?
Breeny. Oh my god. That's got to be that's got to be on the thumbnail or something, man. Breeny. Jesus. I apologise, people. That was kind of slightly funny. Anyhow, so... sorry, I'm hearing weird notifications in the background. Very strange. So the battle stations are about to commence. Literally, the Primarch beams off and he's like, "Get ready for battle." Well, at least you're giving us a warning and a heads up. Thanks. And I don't know if you see the Breen phasers or whatever warming up. I didn't pay that much attention. But just as it's looking to kick off, 4 other Starfleet ships warp in. I'm like, thank God for that. But you're still going to get your arse handed to you. I don't think that would have made a difference.
It'll just take a little longer.
Just a little longer, yeah, exactly. Listen, Starfleet HQ may be solid for all I know. Those shields actually withheld the debris from a planet for quite a long time at the end of last season. Right. So I think it's more tougher than we think, Gray.
I mean, you figure with 5 Starfleet ships now, counting Discovery, plus whatever armaments the station has,
they've got a chance.
Yeah, they probably could do some good damage to the Dreadnoughts.
So more even Stevens, you think? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean enough for the Dreadnought to go like, all right, well, maybe, you know. But then I don't want to get ahead of ourselves. There's a reason why they're.
Did you see one of the Starfleet ships that warped in? It looked like someone got a big compactor and then squished it to like just this. Did you see that one second from the right?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. Do you know what that looked like from a distance? Only a little bit. The jellyfish. Oh, God, please don't say there's another jellyfish ship out there. No. That's the ship that actually ruined it by bringing about the Kelvin universe. Oh, what a horrible-looking ship that was. But yeah, Gray's eager to get ahead with this little clue here. So We will get to that moment. We're almost done, I promise, people. The Primarch hasn't actually beamed off the ship yet. Apologies if I said that. To avoid a battle, the Primarch wants Maul to go with the Breen, because she basically just says, listen, they've been lying to you. They know more about the progenitor tech than they're leading on. They've got these clues, but I can help you. And the reason being, as we find out, we forgot about this for a moment, I think. The progenitor tech can give of life and take of away life. Or bring you back from the dead, So, and that's what we're led to believe. I think she's thinking maybe she can bring her boyfriend back. But then again, I'm thinking, Gray, when this happens, you know what's going to happen? We're going to have Star Trek zombies. I'm just saying, man. I've never seen Star Trek zombies. I am up for Star Trek zombies. I will, if Marvel can do it. Why not? Why not?
It should be interesting. Yeah.
Star Trek zombies play. See if they do that. That'll be worse than the bloody Klingon opera. It generally will be.
So Lack will come back, and then Maul will be all happy, and then he goes like, "I'm a little hungry. Give me your arm for a second."
I don't even think he'll be. If he's a zombie, he's not going to be talking much at all. So that's the deal. They have to literally relent Starfleet and let Maul go away to actually save a battle. Now, here's an interesting element. Stamets uses he tells us what he's found out about the next clue, because he uses the Zora, the ship's like AI, to kind of piece the puzzles together. And the space library is called the Eternal Gallery and Archive, and it changes location every 50 years or so, right? As I was alluding to before. And I'm thinking, okay, this is maybe a bit far-fetched, but it's kind of cool. I like this. And definitely. Its current location, based on evidence, is the Badlands. Of course it is. Yeah. No Voyager music this time, Gray.
Yeah, they should have put a little something.
Just a little hint.
No, maybe, but then again, when Discovery ends up going there, because obviously they're going to go there to visit the library, then we got to hear some Voyager music somewhere. They got to sneak it in. If they don't, I'll be upset. They have to do that.
Agreed, mate. Agreed. Hey, that's cool. We're going back to the Badlands. I'm up for that. Yeah, definitely. I'm all good with that. Gray, would you like to tell us your score and why, please?
I went 8 out of 10. And part of the reason why maybe I didn't go a little higher, because it was a good episode all the way around, was a lot of the cost-cutting stuff, and we had no starship battle when it really looked like we were. I mean, they did work it out rather logically why they didn't have to have a battle, and I'll give that to them. But I think everybody wanted to see at least something, or the beginnings of the battle, or a little bit of a battle, and then they leave, or something like that. And we didn't get any of that. And like you said before, Trev, we're already 7 episodes, 6 episodes, 7 episodes in. We haven't seen anything really. I mean, we've seen the hand-to-hand combat. That's fine, but nothing going on with the ships, really.
I'm a little bit similar to Gray. Like I said, we are often very, very similar on a same wavelength when it comes to Star Trek and reviews and opinions and all that and scores. And I'm an 8.5 out of 10. Would have been a 9 out of 10 if we had some kind of fight, even a little bit at the end. They could have done a little bit and then the Breen warp away or something. What I must admit, by the way, this was cool. I forgot about this and did not note it down. See, when the Breen basically beam back to the Dreadnought with Maul, they literally warp away, right? They have to literally turn a little bit to the side, otherwise Starfleet is breadcrumbs. But literally it turns a little bit and then warps away. And I'm thinking to myself, maybe, that surely even something like that causes some kind of wake in space. Yeah, you see the clouds and stuff in the background moving. I was like, that's cool.
As soon as I saw them warp away, I thought exactly the same thing. I'm going like, wait a minute, massive ship should have left some kind of gravity wake as it took off.
Something
that fast, that big. And I'm sitting there going like, all right, the ship should start to like, whoa, and then like get blown backwards. Not destroyed.
How should the ship go again, Gray? You're missing sound effects. Okay.
No, but I mean, imagine if they'd done it the right way. You could have just seen the ships go like this, and like they're being buffeted with something. And so I was fully expecting that, and yet it took off, and I'm going like, nothing.
What? Yeah, kind of a shame, isn't it? It is kind of a shame.
Yep.
But what are you going to do?
But, hey.
Uh, Gray, do you think they're saving up a big space battle for the last few episodes? Because, to be fair, I think we usually see on average, and with budgets that are available, we usually see one kind of at least starship fight, even if it's only a little bit per season of Star Trek, don't we? So you think they're just saving up?
Maybe. I mean, if they're gonna save up, then they better bring a dreadnought about as big as the Breens. There must be one. They must have one somewhere. I don't know.
You're right, man. You're right. Oh, 100%.
I mean, you got to come with some beef,
you
or
do.
something.
You do. Right, we'll wrap up there, guys. Thank you very much. Sorry it wasn't live. Hopefully next week it should be live again. No gaming episode, I don't think, this week because I won't be back in time, but we'll see. By all means, please look in the description below for our Discord link, because that will take you to our Discord, where it's based on gaming. We do a gaming podcast every week called Extreme Gaming Podcast. In that same Discord, there is a room for the Trekway. We talk about Star Trek stuff, and then Gray here, my man, has an entertainment pod once a month. Just anything that's happening in the entertainment world, shenanigans, kind of Marvel, DC, streaming wars, all that kind of stuff. We cover all that stuff there, and we'll be back in about 2 weeks with an episode with that. But if you go to the link below, everything's there, and you can come and say. And if you come from YouTube or whatever, say hi. You're here for Star Trek shenanigans, and we'll say hi back.
You really should join the Discord. You come and talk to Trev and I. We're all over the place on the Discord.
We are.
And any of our other community members if you want to, but it's a lot of fun.
Yes, it certainly is. We'll wrap up for there now, guys. Thank you very much for that. We'll see you next week, and until then, Gray, do your thing.
Live long and prosper, everybody.
Boy.
Bye.